528 hertz in sound therapy. Good information to know because it shows you the fractal unity and the oneness of creation and consciousness. It really does. So you can use 528 hertz for yourself and for your practice, and you can use it by getting a tone generator online, or you could get an app that will create a 528 hertz sine wave, or you could buy a tuning fork in 528, or if you have a stringed instrument, even a one-stringed instrument, you can tune it to 528 for yourself or your practice. I highly recommend it. My subheading is Entrain to Nature with 528. Now, as you know, vibrational medicine is all about entrainment. So that's the body and the mind cohering and being sympathetically resonating with a tone or frequency. And you're entraining, and that's just our nature. And if you look at it like our loving nature, you know, love is like that. There's a resonance, a similarity. So here's a chart of the electromagnetic spectrum, which shows the visible and invisible light. On the low end is ultraviolet and X-rays. The high end shows infrared light, the red light. And here in the middle of this electromagnetic spectrum is the visible spectrum, and it's blown up like this. Now you can see that this tiny slice of our visual response looks like a rainbow, but it also has a green section, which is right where 528 nanometers is. So this is nanometers. These are very, very tiny wavelengths. So the frequency of light is extremely fast, way out of the range of hearing. We find that the color green is found in plants and leaves and rainbows, oxygen, light, and the heart chakra too. I've also found that bees buzz around 528 hertz. So we've got three aspects that are already proven by nature. The green heart chakra is also at the center of the body, where there's a golden section of the body's subtle energy torus around it. 528 is determined to be the precise center of the electromagnetic scale. And only one number that the color spectrum is the same as the sound system is 528. So we can see that it's where the two frequencies overlap through octave reduction. So they're in the same octave, same frequency but different octave. So people say 528, and that's great. It works. It's really close to green, and the green light and the sound 528 do the work of all of this activation of what I like to call just pure nature. So you're entraining to light and nature. That's very positive because the body is also uses light and is a light body also in the subtle energy. So I wanted to see how close it was to the actual 528 in the wavelength section. So you take 528 nanometers of light wavelength, which is extremely fast. So converting that into hertz or cycles per second, you get 567,746,746,000,000 hertz. Very fast. And interestingly enough, if you do the math and take that original sum and divide it by octave by 2, you get 516.4, which actually feels a little better. I mean, it's in the band, and it's no like do or die frequency. It's a bandwidth. So here's 528 hertz, and then 516.4 hertz. See, very close, virtually functionally identical, but I'm using 516.4 in this piece, but I call it 528. To the heart of the matter, 528 hertz describes nature. So as you can see in the center image, there's a cymatic image of 528 hertz. So this is a small ring of water that's set into vibration with those particular tones. And look at, you get this beautiful pattern similar to a pine cone and the crown chakra and sunflower, many flowers. This is a sacred pattern coming out of nature. So what better way to describe the primary emergence of nature's energy as the love frequency of 528? So we're not talking about love energy in a relative human sense, but we're talking about the creational energy of the universe being described in that manner. So the very cool thing about 528 hertz is that it can repair your DNA, and it can structure water very well also. And they show that 528 hertz increases UV light absorption in DNA. So this assists the function of DNA in its handling of light, which is part of its functionality. It heals the DNA by removing impurities that cause sickness and disease with structured water, because water in its natural state, or fresh water, will have giant clusters of water molecules, and they're not so easy to absorb. But when you structure the water, it's inevitably smaller, like this pattern here, a tiny, maybe a six-pointed sphere, or a line of these water molecules will line up and become structured. Water exposed to 528 hertz will form and energize crystal water structures that create DNA's protective matrix. Six-sided structures. So I've also read where they say there's sometimes a loosening of the DNA. As you know, it's coiled. Clarity of mind, awareness, awakened or activated creativity, ecstatic states like deep inner peace and celebration. So if you think about it, we've got light from the sun hitting us, and it contains the green color, which is 528 hertz. Plus you've got the sun resonating at a relative harmonic of 528 hertz. So you've got the heartbeat of the sun projecting light to us, and then the 528 hertz helps us to entrain to this. So it's like entraining to light and getting your DNA repaired. It's great. Comparing rock music to sacred chanting, which is mostly at 528 hertz, or at least a sacred geometric frequency. 528, it's one of the solfeggio frequencies discovered by, at least notated by Pythagoras. It's the solfeggio mi, which is Latin for mia gestorum, which means wonderful feats or miracle frequency. That's why they call it the love frequency. The number 528 is found in the geometry of the spiral shape that's the double helix. If anyone's heard of Dr. Raymond Rife, he used 528 and was written in his notebooks that it was for DNA repair. John Hutchinson also reduced an ocean spill from oil and grease from 7 to 1 parts per million using 528 hertz for 4 hours. It has great effects on water to energize water. And this actual getting 516.4 for me is closer to my system, which includes the 432 hertz. And also, it's almost the same as 514 hertz, which is the soul star chakra up there. And these are some of my references, a lot of stuff about 528. The points that it works on the frequency of light and color and nature, and it creates a tone that allows you to entrain to that, is the power of it.